Morning everyone. The topic for my paper presentation is plasma homocysteine level in type 2 diabetic patients with and without diabetic retinopathy. So diabetic retinopathy is a major concern for healthcare system throughout the world as it is becoming the most common cause of blindness among adults. Increased homocysteine level being vascular toxic increases oxidative stress which leads to endothelial dysfunction, injury, platelet activation and thrombus formation. Increased homocysteine level in relation to diabetic retinopathy has gained special consideration in recent years, suggesting a strong association between them. There is also acceleration of cell injury at the level of retinal capillaries by these homocysteine, which may lead to development of diabetic retinopathy, as quoted by Zhu et al. In 2014. Homocysteine also induces the death of retinal ganglion cells in vitro, which is suggested by Murray et al. In 2001, and in vivo, as suggested by Ganapathy et al. 2009, by dysregulating mitochondrial dynamics. There is a direct effect of excess homocysteine, which causes disruption of blood-retinal barrier, which further causes retinal ischemia and neovascularization. The aims and objectives of my study was to determine plasma homocysteine level in diabetics versus non-diabetics and to find the association of plasma homocysteine level with diabetic retinopathy. Material and methods. This was a case-controlled hospital-based and observational study. The study included 50 patients of type 2 diabetes, which were the cases, 50 non-diabetics, which were the controls. The place of the study was IOPD of Upgraded Department of Ophthalmology, GMC Jammu, duration being 8 months from November 2023 to June 2024. The history included age of the patient, year of diagnosis, age of onset, duration of diabetes mellitus, family history, smoking, alcohol intake, hypertension, and other associated illnesses, and history of drug intake if any. The examination included visual acuity for distance vision, both corrected and best corrected, intraocular pressure by non-contact tonometry, slit lamp examination for anterior segment evaluation, slit lamp biomicroscopy with 90D lens, and fundus examination using direct and indirect ophthalmoscope with 20D lens. The participants were categorized as patients with diabetes mellitus that had no retinopathy fundus, that is non-diabetic retinopathy fundus. The second were the patients with diabetic mellitus with retinopathy fundus, that is having NPDR, PDR or diabetic macular edema and CSME, and the further was classified into healthy controls. So homocystinemia, hyperhomocystinemia is classified as moderate range as 15 to 30, intermediate between 30 to 100 and severe more than 100, normal being 5 to 15. The inclusion criteria for cases include patients with type 2 diabetes, age more than 40, and willingness to participate in the study. Inclusion criteria for controls included non-diabetic subjects more than 40, people attending hospital for other causes, and willingness to participate in the study, and also healthy controls. The exclusion criteria included type 1 diabetes, alcoholics, drug intake mainly methotrexate, fibric acid derivatives, phenytoin and carbamazepine, pregnant women, megaloblastic anemia, and ocular conditions that may interfere with fundus examination. Also any fundus pathology other than diabetic retinopathy. The statistical analysis was carried out by SPSS software for Windows version 25 and comparison of the data was done by chi-square and unpaired sample t-test. All the tests were done at 5% level and p-value less than 0.05 was considered as statistically significant. So the results, the diabetic mellitus patients, cases being 50, 35 had diabetic retinopathy and 15 non-diabetic retinopathy. The mean age of the patients was diabetic retinopathy was 63.1 plus minus 7.7 years, and that without diabetic retinopathy was 56.5 plus minus 7.6. It was higher in diabetic retinopathy group. The mean level of plasma homocysteine cases was 15.81 plus minus 6.45, and that of controls was 9.02 plus minus 1.18 micromole per liter. Difference was found to be statistically significant. This shows the comparison of hyperhomocystinemia in cases and control. As we can see, amongst 50 cases of type 2 diabetes, there were 22 patients that had hyperhomocystinemia and none amongst the control had hyperhomocystinemia. This is the association of homocysteine with diabetic retinopathy. We can see that among 50 cases of diabetes, 35 had diabetic retinopathy, and among diabetic retinopathy, 19 had hyperhomocystinemia. This table shows the association of plasma homocysteine with fundus findings. As we can see that hyperhomocystinemia was seen in 3 non-diabetic retinopathy fundus patients, 10 in non-proliferative diabetic retinopathy patients, 6 in proliferative diabetic retinopathy patients, and 3 in CSME patients, and none in NPDR with CSME patients. So the conclusion is the results of a study reveal significantly higher prevalence of hyperhomocystinemia and higher level of mean plasma homocysteine in diabetic patients with PDR and NPDR as compared to control groups. These are my references. Thank you.
Thank you. In nutshell, you want to say that in proliferative diabetic retinopathy, level of homocysteines are high.
Yes.
Yes? So reducing the, or if you treat the homocysteine level, does it affect the course of treatment, or there is regression of diabetic retinopathy, or there is morbidity is decreased?
Sir, if we find out initially that there is an increase in homocysteine, we can interfere initially and we can help prevent the patient going into PDR.
That means you can postpone the diabetic retinopathy in which you are expecting.
Yes, sir. We can postpone the sequel of the patient. We can help him get the treatment during.
So what are the signs in which you will determine that this patient is going to have proliferative diabetic retinopathy? Earliest sign
Sir,
on angiography, fundus photography, whatever it is,
sir,
or OCT.
sir, with the
That is what you mean. If you reduce the level of homocysteine, the course of the disease will be proliferative retinopathy will decrease. This is what you mean, no?
Yes, sir.
So how would you know that I should give homocysteine, or you give all homocysteine treatment to all diabetic retinopathy patients in which it is raised?
Sir, all
Or-
the diabetic retinopathy patients were given the test, and if there is homocysteine,
You give treatment.
Yes, sir. Yes, so we give folic acid supplementation B6,
Okay.
B12. So and then we follow up the patient for fundus findings, and we see if there is improvement or if there is prolongation of.
Is there any study of two groups in which homocysteine level was decreased, or another group there was no treatment given for increased level of homocysteine, and course of diabetic retinopathy has affected? You have any idea about that?
So there was a study in which it was shown that folic acid supplementation treated hyperhomocystinemia, and there was a decrease in the progression of the disease. There was a study shown, but still studies are being done to prove this.
So your study is only limited to higher level of homocysteine in diabetic retinopathy,
In diabetic.
and there you confirm it.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So here you've compared it to the normal population and diabetics, or you've compared the levels between patients with proliferative disease and.
Ma'am, I have compared with both. That in controls, none of them had hyperhomocystinemia, and within diabetic patients, in NPDR the homocysteine level was less as compared in PDR patients. That means the homocysteine level kept on increasing as the.
And
retinopathy
patients
came.
without retinopathy did not have a high level.
No, hyperhomocystinemia was not present in controls. It was less than 15, which was considered to be normal. 15 micromole per liter was considered to be.
No, I'm not talking of controls, just diabetic patients without retinopathy.
No, ma'am, in diabetic mellitus patients with NPDR, there was increase in hyperhomocystinemia, but the
Without
level-
retinopathy.
Yes, ma'am, there was less
Okay.
as compared to PDR patients. That means homocysteine was not as high as shown in PDR patients.
Okay.
So it increased with the progression of diabetic retinopathy.
Got it. Okay, good.